Hello. Can you
Hi.
hear?
Yes, Babli. Hi, how are you? I'm so glad you could join.
And you are? I just missed
I'm Parvati. I'm Parvati,
Parvati.
Tulu and Obijit's friend, and I'm the one who's organizing the Zoom part of this. And you are Tulu's cousin in Los Angeles, right?
Correct.
I'm so glad you could
Can you
join.
hear me correct? I mean, is my volume okay, or do I have to shout out loud?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
And to me, could you introduce yourself, please?
Who is this?
The one.
Tula, there's her name.
Tula.
Oh, yeah, Tula is there. Yes.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Tula, and I am Ratula's friend from Amsterdam. We saw each other just last year in June, and she promised to come back,
Yeah.
but she didn't.
Well,
So I'm still in shock. Actually, I'm still in shock.
and you are. You're Gita Dev.
Hi,
Hi.
that's just like Tulu. You never know when she's going to take off.
Of course. She's like a bird.
Yep.
That's true.
So some are trying to figure out how to put on their video.
Okay.
Oh, Bodhi just joined us, I think.
Did you bring me a glass of water?
They can see. They can. Anjana just said. Host has asked you to start your video.
Hello, everyone. It's Kiran.
Hi,
Hello.
Kiran.
Hi, Parvati.
Oh, hi,
Gita.
Kiran.
Hi, Anjana.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well. And you?
All right. Can't complain.
Hi, I'm Barun Sengupta.
And I'm Puri Sengupta. We on Tulu for a long time.
Where are you calling from?
Louisiana, Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for joining.
I could have said our pleasure, but
It's not,
I can't
not
say
this
that.
much. So you are Parvati?
I'm Parvati.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Where in California are you?
In the San Francisco area near Stanford.
Good.
Hi, Madhu.
Hi. Kiran, where are you? There you are.
Much better. I couldn't hear you for a while.
Gauri, I see Gauri there. Hi, Gauri.
Hi. Hi, Paru. Hi, Paru.
Hi, Gauri.
Jana, a minute ago.
Gauri.
Jana, where are you? And there's Shushmita. Hello.
Hi,
Hi. Shushmita, you remind me, you're joining
I'm
from...
Sushmita. Hi, I'm from Kolkata.
That's it. There you go. Joining-
Kolkata. She was my neighbor in Kolkata.
Uh-huh.
We heard about you from over.
Exactly.
Yep.
Shushmita was key in getting everything.
Yeah,
hello,
I was
Parvati. Hi, Gauri.
Hi, Mita.
Hi, Gauri. This is Bibi.
Hi.
Hello.
Murthy, I see you. Hello, Murthy.
Hello, this is
Positive.
Hi, Sudhakar. How are you?
Yeah, I did.
Hello, Anjana.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Anjana.
Hi.
Let's just start my video call. Hey, তোরা দেখতে পাচ্ছিস শিলা?
Huh?
Hello.
I can't see all of you. Why can't I see all of you?
No, they all look so different.
Okay, so
Hello. This is hi. Hello. This is
Hi, Gauri.
hi. Hi. Gauri কেমন আছো? চলছে।
Parvati, thank you for arranging this.
You're very welcome. I'm so glad you could come. All of
Yeah. If you don't mind, I will try to stay quiet because if I say too many things, I might break down. So I want to avoid that. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
hey, Paplu.
hi. So let me say welcome everyone and thanks very much for joining this memorial to Ratula Banerjee Sen, known to all of us, many of us as Tulu, who suddenly passed away in Kolkata on April 13th, following a cardiac arrest, which was
I
caused.
should be all set.
Is everybody on mute? Yeah. So he passed away because of, from a cardiac arrest following a stroke, which was quite sudden. And some of us got this idea of an online memorial, which Obi liked very much. So we've tried to put together a session of some close friends speaking, some songs of hers, which will play in the background. Ratula was, for many of you attending, he was in IIT Kharagpur as an architecture student from 1968. And she left and went to the Netherlands and training under a famous architect, but changed her course of study because she realized what history of art is what she wanted to study. And continued that study. She worked as an assistant curator at the Tropical Museum associated with University of Amsterdam, arranged a lot of concerts also of famous artists, from classical artists like senior Dagar brothers, Nazakat Salamat Ali Khan, Vilayat Khan, France, Germany, and the Netherlands. She also, because of her classical training, she accompanied Pandit Ravi Shankar and her guru, or her teacher, her teacher for many, many years, the Ustad Yunus Khan of the Agra Gharana. Many of us who remembered Ratula from the Kharagpur days thought of her as a Western jazz singer when she was part of the undergrads jazz band at Kharagpur. But she started classical training, which was really her first love, around 1961, and in the Agra Gharana, and continued all the way till 1991 with her training under Yunus Khan Sahib. 1975, she moved. She and Abhijit got married in 1969. And in 1975, she moved from the Netherlands to be with Obi. And 1976, she got her PhD at from the University of Amsterdam. She moved with Obi to Louisiana and 1982, and then retrained herself in respiratory therapy. And she worked professionally in that from 1986 to 2011, when she retired from that profession and focused on her lifelong passion with Hindustani classical music. She continued to give, all this time she had been giving concerts in the US and Canada and some in Europe of her Hindustani classical music. We all remember her from those of us who knew her from the Kharagpur days, but even those who met her later. I think Ratula was an infinite palette of colors in her personality. And what I think many people will remember is her ever smiling face and her pranks. With this, I would like to ask Obi to say a few words, or as many words as he wants to. I'll go on mute, Baru, and you can let Obi speak.
Okay. I'm unmuting Obi, and everybody else is muted. Thank you, Paplu. Obi, you're on.
Thank you. Thank you, Paplu, for the wonderful introduction. And Paru, Geeta, Kollan, and everybody else who have been instrumental in making this memorial possible. And I also want to thank all of our friends who are here with us participating in this tribute to my wife, companion, my teacher, my guide, my entire life, who's now gone from us. I don't have the eloquence to express my feelings to their fullest extent, and I'm sure you can imagine that my life has been devastated, but with your help and support and your friendship, I will overcome and try to continue my life as Tulu or Ratula would have expected me to. So I'll have to carry on and I'll be there. And in the meantime, I'll miss her terribly. And I just want to make one comment, is that let this be not a mourning session for her, but let's celebrate her life, which was such a beautiful life. And she touched so many people with her love, humor, and fundamental badmashi, basically. She was so mischievous. But all my life, she had made fun of everything and everybody, but I've never heard her say a single word of malice or a bad word about anybody. That was her characteristic. I always admired that. I have known Tulu since she was 18 and I was 19, back in IIT Kharagpur. And in spite of all the boys in IIT that were trying to gain her attention, somehow she chose me, and for that I consider myself lucky. And I also consider myself very fortunate and indeed privileged to be a part of a beautiful life. She was a free spirit, and now she is free, and me and all our friends are going to miss her terribly. But that's life. Life continues. We have to continue her work, and I will do my best. This is one song has been spinning around in my head since she had the stroke. And this is a song by Tagore. And for those of you who do not understand Bengali, it is essentially a plea to the lifelong companion to stay and not to leave. And so that's what, just one line I'll sing. And if I'm out of tune or out of scale, please forgive me. I'm not as good as her in terms of musical talents. So here it goes. Chiro Shakha Hey Chero Na Chero Na That's about it. I thank all of you, when things concerning lockdown and everything else goes away. Hopefully, I'll be able to meet many of you in the near future. And I'm hoping and praying for that. In the meantime, let's celebrate Tulu's.
Ishan Mojumdar is a young man, 26 years old, who was a student of Ratula in Kolkata, a great admirer of her for everything that she was. So he, 15 minutes after he received the news of Ratula's passing away on the 13th of April, he wrote a Bengali poem and recited it and sent a copy. And now, however, what we'll hear next is Ratula's dear cousin in Kolkata, Puchku, who because of the lockdown couldn't even visit her at the nursing home after she suffered the stroke. But Puchku has kindly recorded Ishan's poem, and you'll hear that now with a translation of the poem into English for those who don't understand Bengali. This is Puchku. We'd asked Puchku to speak. Abhijit had asked her to speak, but she really couldn't bring herself to speak. But this is her contribution, her participation, recitation of Ishan's poem in memory and tribute to Ratula.
Just a minute. Please.
যতবার চোখ বুজি তোমাকেই দেখতে যে পাই, বলেছিলে তুমি শোন আমি যেন ঘুমে চলে যাই। দেহ ছিল একই ভাবে, স্নেহটুকু ছিল বাড়ি ধারা, মন ছিল আক্তারি বেগমে রিমনের পাড়া। তোমাকেই খুঁজি আমি সাহানায় যখনই তাকাই, বলেছিলে তুমি শোন আমি যেন ঘুমে চলে যাই। দেশ ছিল না তো শুধু, দেশ ছিল ভরা চেতনায়, গজলে তোমার সাথে মেহেদি হাসান গান গায়, তার সুরে ছায়া ফেলে তোমার গলার রোশনাই, বলেছিলে তুমি শোন আমি যেন ঘুমে চলে যাই। আবারও তো দেখা হবে, এই তো কদিন পরে দেখো, আমির খানের রাগে আমাকেও সাথে তুমি রেখো। প্রতি জন্মেই যেন তোমার মতন দিদি পাই, বলেছিলে তুমি শোন আমি যেন ঘুমে চলে যাই।
This is Paplu. I'm at a loss for words to speak about Tulu, but I had such a long friendship with her. I remember her well from the Kharagpur days. And the best way I can describe Tulu, that hers was an infinite palette of colors, her personality. But most of all, I miss her pranking. Her biggest prank player I ever knew. And it was only after we came here and renewed our friendship and connections with Ratula and Abhijit, and Peanuts, or Amitabh Banerjee, gave me a tape of her classical songs, which I was quite unaccustomed or knowing about her classical singing. And that tape became one of our favorites, and became one of our favorites for our son, who showed a love for music at a very young age. And before he could speak, and he'd come and point to various things, and we would have to play various music. And then one day, his first complete sentence was, Amar Tulu gan bhalo lage. I told Tulu about this. I said, he must be the youngest fan of Tulu's music anywhere in the world. As he grew up, my son became an accomplished pianist himself, and he was very touched that Tulu and Ovi came to his piano recital at Kimmel Auditorium in Philadelphia. The memories that he will cherish for a long time. That's really all I would have to say. I'm going to miss her very, very much, as I think all of you will. At this time, Can I be heard? Yes. At this time, I'd like to read two poems written by another close friend of Obhye and Ratula, day after she passed away. The gentleman's name is Salman Akhtar, and you can read along with me. The first one is for Ratula. This is what happened. She died last afternoon, but still the night came dancing, and sun. Are we going to show the PowerPoint?
Paplu?
Yes.
Yes, we are. I'm just trying to.
তোমাকেই দেখতে যে
Every
পাই
time I start it, it starts
বলেছিলে
this other
তুমি
sound. That's my
শোন
problem.
আমি যেন ঘুমে যতবার চোখ বুজি
One second.
তোমাকেই দেখতে যে পাই বলেছিলে তুমি শোন
I think what I'll do is I'll just run the slides without running the actual show, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Hold it a second. Just a second. Give me a second.
I'll start reading after you bring the slide up. Yeah.
Please. Okay. It is the Salman poems, right?
Salman poems, yes.
I'm just going to show the slides. That's all.
That's fine.
Share. Salman slides. There you go. Go for it.
As I said, Salman Akhtar is a close friend of Ratula and Ovid, and he wrote this the day after he got the news of her demise. She died last afternoon, but still the night came dancing, and sun opened its eyes promptly at dawn. She died last afternoon, but her dogs do not know this yet, and her car is parked shamelessly on her driveway. She died last afternoon, but her voice is embroidered on her aging husband's pillow. She died last afternoon, but that afternoon refuses to die, threatens to live forever. Salman also wrote another poem, and this is Ode to the Bereaved for Abhijit Banerjee. No point picking up the phone to call her. From now on, she will only listen to the soft breath of Brahma. No point preparing her favorite dish. Her plate is broken, her fork and knife swallowed by a hungry darkness. No point looking at the wrist. She has melted into the bosom of timelessness, and the tortoise of grief crosses the street slowly. I would now like to ask Misha Masood, a very dear friend of Ratula's, among the first friends Ratula had when she moved from the Netherlands to the US. Misha?
I'm first thinking about how much Tulu would have loved to have all her friends and family together the way we are now. How do you sum up a lifetime of friendship in a few minutes? We're all trying desperately to. So I'll just share a few memories and who Tulu was to me. I first saw Tulu when she was playing Tanpura for Pandit Ravi Shankar at Carnegie Hall, I think in '75. And I was so taken by her refinement and her poise and her beauty. And she clearly made an impression on everyone, because at intermission, when we all would have been talking about the concert and being Ravi Shankar, of course, everyone was crowding around me asking if I knew who this beautiful, beautiful woman was on stage. Such an impression. Fortunately, soon after that, my tabla teacher, Paramjyoti ji, introduced me to her, thinking we would probably become good friends, and that was clearly what happened. At that time, Tulu and Obi were living in Delaware, and she felt it would be important to spend a lot of time in New York in order to be around more of the music. I invited her to stay with me, and I was so happy that she accepted, because we just got on famously. And we became very close. One thing I wanted to mention was that I was so taken by her focus and discipline in her practice. She would spend easily the first hour just singing sa and pa. And then a few more hours of scales and other paltas and other exercises, and only then begin to practice her compositions. So I was so influenced by her, and her approach had a tremendous effect on my own practice. Of course, non-serious times, there was a lot of laughter, of course. How could it not be with Tulu? And she would also tell me about all the practical jokes she and many of you would play when at IIT. And I got to experience some of them as well. One was that in the building opposite us, there was an opera singer who sang for hours every day with her windows wide open, and she would just drive us crazy. One morning after the Sunday paper had come, Tulu suddenly pulled out the sports section and handed it to me. And then she pulled out the news and opened the window and started singing the news in operatic style and motioned to me to continue. And we went on for a while like that in the strongest operatic voices we could find, and trying not to burst into laughter. But eventually the singer stopped, and we prided ourselves in thinking that perhaps we had caused this to happen. We had lots of talks. I always felt I could turn to her all of these years to talk about my thoughts, my feelings, my difficulties. She always had a lot of insights, good advice, and I always felt so supported and encouraged by her. And she really became like an older sister, and I looked up to her, emulated her, learned so much from her. A lot about the music, though I'd been learning for a number of years by then, but there's a certain manner in the music. She would teach me about the proper approach, how to speak with a certain artist, what the proper address would be, etc. She would tell me about how to listen. Go early and go in a relaxed manner, arrive early, sit quietly, and try to quiet myself so that I would be prepared to listen to the music. Such wisdom she had, and such depth. Of course, we know she was an impeccable dresser, and before going out, I would always ask her to pick my sari or outfit and all of the accessories, and she'd say these earrings and these bangles and this handbag. And that was even until this past fall when we attended a performance together. And when we'd go out, I would want to walk like her and try to carry myself like her. I mean, she was so classy, and what to say? A million thoughts, a million memories, and many being sparked by speaking speaking with some of you over the past week, I have to say that I'm so much better for having had her in my life. And I can't quite imagine what life will look like going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Misha. Mita?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I got to know Tulu much later than a lot of you, but very soon, like everyone else, she grabs you and grabs you tight. She was my refuge in New York from stress. And she would say, Chole aai, and I went into her beautiful media home, which she made with Balcha, laughed, talked story, pranks, related her pranks. I went on shopping sprees with her, saw bad arty films, which Balcha insisted we see, and generally came back to New York de-stressed and started working again. She was also my daily talk show, and what a talk show it was. She would take me roller coaster through over the phone through loads of experiences she had, shared, unshared anecdotes, the bawdy songs that she would sing suddenly out of nowhere. And when I would ask her, "Hey, Tulu, Gankar, chup, korbona," and then she would do this most beautiful lilting ghazal or bhajan, just for a little while, and then again another joke, another anecdote, and then, "Hey, I have to go, bye." And then later on in Kolkata, every year except this last one, Jab we met, it was another roller coaster of fun, laughter, love. All I had to say is, "Hey Tulu, Jabi, hein? Khabi, hein? Ki khabi?" And then the discussions about what we were going to eat, picking up bad restaurants, good restaurants, shopping, going to musical soirees, and you could see that stillness that Misha just described, the concentration, the total difference in her face when she got uplifted by a particular performance, or when it wasn't up to mark with her, she would kind of look around and she said, "Look what she's wearing," or "Look what that's wearing," totally out. And if it was really not something she liked, "Let's go." And we went. So it was Tulu who guided all our fun. She was always the point where I knew I could tell her anything and everything, and there would never, ever be how should I say, never ever tell me off, but scold me. And she had no right to, she was younger than me, but she did. And I would scold her back, and we would have a scolding match, and then we would laugh, and then we would go again to wherever we did, whatever her free spirit led us to, often to shops where we just hung out, to cafes where we just talked our heads off, to addas at people's homes who cooked for Tulu according to her liking, the Cal gang, who are probably here listening, who have their own memories just like I do. And then it was always the same, wasn't it? "Hey, I have to go. পরে দেখা হবে. But this time, it's not that. I will not have Tulu in my life anymore. That hurts. That's all.
Thank you, Mita. I'm going to show a video that Gauri recorded. She wanted to say these things, but she has made a video of it, and I'm going to...
Didn't recognize the still figure of my...
1 second. I need to do a sharing. See if I can make it large enough. Sorry, just a sec. This is what I want to show. That's not the one. Are you seeing it? I hope.
Didn't recognize the still figure of my best friend lying still in ICU. She who could not stay in one place for long, flitting from country to country, city to city. Ratula, get up, enough of your pranks. I wanted to shout. But she had left us long ago. She could not have lived with a paralyzed body dependent on others. This was her lonely goodbye. My first glimpse of her in IIT was this stunningly attractive girl wearing colors we wouldn't dare, cycling down Scholars Avenue. Her personality was as colorful, full of joy, laughter, and her mischievous ability to play pranks. But music was her forte. She won all the coveted prizes at IIT music contests. But the pranks, my goodness, I have to get back to them. It was a boys' night for films at the Netaji Auditorium. After 9 a.m., as soon as they settled down, she said, let's go have some fun and take out the air from the tires. We waited till after the movie was over, and when the boys went past our hall, cursing and dragging their cycles back to their halls of residences, she played a marching tune on her flute. Blessed with a vivid imagination, she could instantly make up tales to avoid the teacher's wrath. Now, we both decided not to attend the first day in Delhi for the class tour with Mishra. Next day, when we were both being sent back to KGP to face the music, she quickly called Mishra aside and whispered loudly, I could not tell you in front of the boys, but yesterday I had such an upset stomach. I had to go to the bathroom every 5 minutes. In fact, I've got to run to the bathroom this very minute. Result, another free day for her. Poor Mishra didn't have a chance, even though he knew she was fibbing. Don't get me wrong, it was not all must-be. She helped me get over my pain of widowhood and stood by me. So many incidences and memories, so much we shared together. We both called each other Mutki affectionately. She was a great influence on my sons. When my younger son Ronadeep was 9 years old, she wrote in his Bengali exercise book without his knowledge. Thakur dada peara khaye, peara khe bagane ghumaye. Below she wrote Kotha o Shur by Rabindranath Tagore. He got into serious trouble the next day at St. Xavier's. Outrageous, flamboyant, caring, witty, and with a charm that has drawn us all here today from far and near. Mutki, do you see how they have all gathered to pay their tribute to you, how popular you are? I almost forgot that you are not here and was about to call you. But I feel lost and forlorn without you. Especially when I think of the coming days, months, and years without you to hold my hand, I miss you. And for those who asked about Gauri Bose and Shak, she would have said, hey, your Kapakalpi, where is it?
Sorry, guys. Apologies.
Gauri asked me to thank two classmates of Tulu that were instrumental, in fact, made it possible for Gauri and Tulu's cousin Puchku to attend her cremation. They are these two classmates many people will recognize. Satish Sharma and Satish Sahajpal. They are classmates of Tulu who arranged for the Kolkata police to pick up Gauri and then go pick up Puchku from her home because of the lockdown, nobody could move. No one could visit Tulu at the nursing home after her stroke and while she stayed there. So thanks to Satish, both Satishes, for doing what you did under difficult circumstances. Now I'd like to ask Tulu's cousin, Babli, to speak a few words.
Just a minute, I'm unmuting you. I'm having a hard time unmuting you, Babli. Okay, now there you are. Go ahead.
Once I get going, I won't stop.
There you go.
Hi, I'm Babli, Tulu's cousin. But we were really actually sisters. Didi, my sister Shormishta, Ratula, and I. We just spent a hell of a time together doing music and all sorts of interesting things. Tulu and Didi had music in common, singing and playing together whenever they met in Delhi. It is really hard to believe that we will not see Tulu anymore. Just a little over a month, we were all together in Delhi, catching up with our lives, sharing our news stories, and exchanging musical ideas. And now we are just left with her memories of her musical talent, her friendship, her banter, her trove of wonderful stories, many of which were exceedingly funny and could put you to stitches. And her mischievousness, as you are all talking about. Obi, when you called me, I guess I should be saying, but when you called me, the phone showed Tulu calling. And I said, okay, this is another, for a split second, I said, this is another Tulu's mischievousness. And she's still with us and she's pretending as if she's gone, but she's like a bird, she's gone. Hard to believe. I personally, there are so many beautiful qualities in Tulu, but I personally really feel that her free spirit and her love for music really outdid it all. She left studying architecture and decided to settle in Holland. And of course, you know, she became attached to Tropian Museum. But she was instrumental in really organizing music festivals from early 70s on. Came to India annually and scout for musicians to be invited to Holland for these festivals. And they were not just well-known musicians. They were really Khandani musicians from little villages that you would never even think of. I mean, she really pulled them out and brought them on stage in Holland. It was just a wonderful, wonderful thing that she did for music. In her student days at Kharagpur, she was spotted by Ravi Shankar as a music talent. From that time on, they remained such close friends until he passed away. And it was at his recommendation that she started her training with Ustad Yunus Hussain Khan Sahab, with whom she studied for many, many years in Delhi. Working with him, she gained an encyclopedic knowledge of Agra Gharana compositions. And she was the one person in our extended family who kept the connections going between large number of cousins we shared. She really left an everlasting impression on people she met, both young and old. Her life was a geography of ours. We spent wonderful times together in Delhi, Kolkata, Vermont, Seattle, and Los Angeles. And it was our son Dard that observed, after reading responses to my Facebook tribute to Ratula, he wrote, reading these responses, it was like time and place coming together. Daryaganj, Vermont, Seattle, Los Angeles, all friends and loved ones, places, times of life. Peace be with you, Tulu, my friend, my confidant. Namaskar.
Thank you, Meeta. Dilip Peter Nandi.
Well, wow. Oh my God, I have to. Well, first of all, my wife Hannah is stuck in Cuba because of this COVID. And Hansa is also emotionally too upset to be able to join. And my coming to know of Tulu was like everybody else. We could see her in the auditorium, hear her laughter, and of course, not going to morning classes, instead meeting in the canteen, coming down to Chedi's. That was the only Tulu that I knew. It's after I moved to Canada and Ovijit and Tulu moved to the States that we started visiting each other. She would come down to our place, we would go down there. And of course, a lot of he used to go on. And that's when I started coming to know Tulu much better. Of course, in IIT, we all, were in the lineup and line lagod, so as to say, for beautiful and pretty girl like Tulu. However, most of us didn't have the chance, you see. In coming to know Tulu and to think about her and kind of miss her now, even though we didn't meet too often. Our friendship also started when Tulu sort of fell in love with the tall, dark, and handsome like Ovijit Banerjee, alias Vulture. And then, of course, if you remember, there's a famous phrase which says, to win the sister with the brother, you first begin. So that's what I thought. Oh, she's being friendly with me now because she wants to have, good words put in for about Ovijit. So it was like, to win Ovijit, let's be friendly with Peter Nandi. That's what I thought then. Anyhow, that's just. But Tulu then influenced my two daughters as well. We used to go there, and then I would have my two daughters, Seema and Neera, learn Indian classical. And of course, at that age, oh no, I don't want to know. But by going and visiting Tulu, and they would listen to her, and she, of course, would then influence them
in liking or at least continuing with the lessons. And they did for a long time. They did, both of them did Indian classical. So thanks to Tulu on that one as well. And also Tulu had a special kind of a gift to be able to communicate with children as well. So she would be able to come down to that level and make them understand and all that. And also if they misbehaved, her bright and big eyes would put them in place. And they admired her, they called her Ratula Kaki all the time, and they still remember her. And then I also came to know Tulu, that she's a person who could come down to anybody's level. And really, I saw her do so well with elderly people. She respected them so much. And also, what another thing that moved me about Tulu was that she was very kind and treated everybody humanely, like the rickshawalas, like the panwalas, like everybody, the workers in the house. She treated them so well. She gave them a lot as well. Not only monetarily, but gave them attention as well. So Tulu, hats off to you for that as well. I'm sorry, I'm once a topo, always a topo, so I'm having to refer to my topo lines. And then Tulu had two major passions in her life. One was being in love, and the second was being in music. And although she had to struggle a lot to balance those two in her life, but she also led her life in her own way, in her own terms. And really, today, that's what I celebrate, Tulu, about you. You live life in your own terms. Tujhe mera salam, mere dost. And to Avjit, we are the three idiots. You're the biggest of us all. Diptendu and myself will always be with you in these, even after Tulu is away. We'll make sure that her memories are always with us. And three of us will always remember her. We will be cherishing her memories because she's still watching you. And so Tulu, salam. And I would like to also say one of my favorite songs, to Tulu, जीवन के सफर में राही मिलते हैं बिछड़ जाने को और दे जाते हैं यादें तन्हाइयों में तड़पाने को. It's like, life is a journey, and in that journey you meet special people along the way. But then suddenly they part from your journey, but leave you behind with memories and pain. Thanks, Tulu.
Thanks, Dilip. Thanks, Peter. And now the third musketeer, or the third scoundrel of the inseparable trio, Harry the Hawk, Diptendu Mohan Sen. Hey, Diptendu, I saw you on the screen earlier.
Oh, there he is.
Diptendu, let me do that.
Am I unmuted now?
Now you're unmuted.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I guess I got to know Tulu through Vulture, But Vulture tells me, malicious rumor, he tells me that I tried to invite her to my hall day without success. A dastardly lie, of course. Anyway, to set the scene, in Kharagpur, I belonged to two groups. One group was Balcha, Nondi, and myself. And the other group was Gautam and myself. Now, Gautam was usually either playing bridge or teen patti. So I hung out more with Balcha. Balcha and Peter and myself. Basically, we hung out at the canteen during class. We went to Chedis. We did the usual Kharagpur type things. So, life was cool. Three of us and things. And then slowly, Vulture started disappearing. So, where the hell is Vulture? It seems that Vulture was trying to get hold of Tulu. He said he was in love. So there he was, disappearing all the time. And, we lost, he was chasing Tulu, and, he was in, his free time was taken up in Tulu worship, as they say. So that was my first encounter with Tulu. I got to tell you, I was kind of pissed off because even though I couldn't blame Vulture, I would also rather be with Tulu than with Vulture. But anyway, then I gave Vulture a bit of I gave him a talking to. I said, Vulture, Tulu is too pretty for you. She's too good looking. She's too talented. Forget it. Come on. Give up. So Vulture, of course, would never give up. So Vulture said, I'm going to go for it. Thank God Vulture didn't listen to me, because the two of them formed one of the most charming, delightful, good-looking couples that I've ever had the good fortune of meeting. Vulture was crazy for her, and Tulu, as all of you know, was just crazy, as I discovered afterwards, as I got to know her slightly better. That was a recipe for a great marriage for Vulture and Tulu. I got to know Tulu now because Vulture is one of my best friends. And so I couldn't avoid Tulu. She was funny, irreverent, with a biting sense of humor, but no malice at all. And always up to some mischief, a perfect sort of foil for Vulture. The last time I saw her was in November. Nondi, myself, Anna, we spent 2 or 3 days at media with them. It was a fantastic time, just laughing and joking and stuff like that. Of course, I met their dogs, who obviously only listened to her. They didn't bother to listen to Vulture. Anyway, during this time, I really perceived, I got the sense, she was crazy about Vulture. And she was also really very happy. She treasured Vulture's obvious love for her. It was very nice to see that two people for so long could, still be so much made for each other. Anyway, Tulu, crazy, lovable, gorgeous Tulu. I hope you continue to spread peace, happiness, and laughter wherever you are. Rest in peace. Okay.
Thanks, Diptendu. Now, Geeta Dev, Geeta's put together a media presentation. So Geeta, it's your turn.
Geeta, I'll transfer the screen to you, if I can figure out how.
Let me know.
There's gotta be a way.
Are you ready?
Not yet. I know I had figured out how to transfer the screen, but
I can do it. Just change to me, and then I'll put on share my screen. Should I go ahead and share my screen?
I made you host. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
You should have the screen. Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you, Geeta. On the footsteps of that, following that, we have a recorded video duet of Tulu's Didi, Shormishta Sen, on sitar, and Tulu singing, teaching her Didi a bandish of Yunus Khan Sahib. And so we're lucky enough to have that video, which will be played right now.
Geeta, I need you to send host back to me.
How do I do that? I'm not sure how to do that, Paru.
Hold on. Reclaim host, got it.
Good.
Okay, thank you. All right. This is a duet with Shormishta Sen and Tulu.
Baya गान song
এটা পুরা গা পুরোটা বাজা এবার না একসঙ্গে দুটো তো শিখলি এটা এখন বাজা আমার তো এখন মনে হয় না
Okay. After that, we next, everyone's been speaking. There's a common theme through everyone's speeches or what they have said about Tulu is her pranking and her inimitable ability to make people laugh. We have a very short video as an example of her. It's in Bengali, but I don't think you have to know Bengali to enjoy what she does.
আমাদের কাছে একটি গান করব বাবুরা সব বসে রয়েছে একটু পান খান বাবুরা আমি আপনাদের সামনে একটা গান করব সাধু সাধু দাদা তবলাটা ঠিক আছে তো হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে সেজ পাশে এসে বসে ছিল তবু জাগিনি সেজ পাশে এসে বসে ছিল তবু জাগিনি কি ঘুম তোরে ধরেছিল হত ভাগিনী সেজ পাশে
So funny.
Much too short, yes. We had some last minute requests for people to speak, and I'd now like to invite them one by one. First up, classmate of Tulu's, Ravi Anand. Ravi.
Thank you, Pablo. After everything that's been said, I don't know what to add except, saying that she was such a tremendous joy to be with always. And she's still with us, her bright and smiling face. I can see that in front of us. And, I spoke to an old friend of mine last night from our class who joined us a year later, actually, Chandan Mukherjee. And he grew up in Hijli, and spent a fair amount of time during his younger years with Ratula. And he told me how he remembered her when she was still in her very early teens as the sort of a tomboy, and she went to St. Agnes and in Kharagpur, and Chandan had a few stories. He's not here, unfortunately. But he was relating those to me. She was, just a very, very special person. We had 4 girls in our class. Well, I shouldn't say girls, women, but really we were all teenagers looking for trouble, and very often finding it. And Ratula was always leading the show. And as you know, we had in our first year, we had labs of all kinds that, we probably didn't even belong in. There was, and lab partners were picked in pairs of adjacent roll numbers. And Ratula was 191. And our friend that you just talked about, Pablo, Satish Sharma, he did not know how much we all envied him because he lucked out with the number 192. So he was her lab partner for a little while, and we were just, we were wishing we could be her lab partners. We were all learning to be gutsy in our first year, second year, and mischievous. Some of us more than others. And you could always count on Ratula for being a partner in crime. We had no problem recruiting her to participate in our pranks. And I remember we had a class, I think it was mechanics or something that the architecture students didn't need at all. We didn't know what to do with it. And we didn't belong in that class. The instructor had a habit of taking attendance each time, and he would look down at his register, and as soon as your name has been called, you could kind of sneak out because he didn't even look up. And Ratula was really good at at doing that. And I remember following her. And there are a lot of pranks that were probably not even necessarily Ratula, but they were ascribed to her, because she was she was the one. And so we had a so-called Smithy class where we were all given a block that resembled a metal cube, and were told to place it, tightly in a vise and file it evenly, so it was totally flat on all six sides with good 90-degree corners. Ratula got pretty good at filing, but she just didn't know where to stop. So she filed and filed until it resembled more of a sphere than a cube. But when it was all done, fortunately, somebody knew this blacksmith shop in town, who could convert it back into a cube for a mere rupee. And and we certainly left the instructor completely dumbfounded. He couldn't believe how good his students were. Our main interest, of course, that has left indelible memories in my mind is interest in music. I remember, I think it was Borun Roy who had us, sing together in Netaji Auditorium. She amazed everybody with a song that she sang, full orchestra, and it was just delightful. And one of my memorable moments was when our architecture tour went to Agra, and Ratula and I sang together a song which was Shahenshah Ne Banwa Ke Hansi Taj Mahal, and I just cannot forget. It was such a such a beautiful moment, and we know her heart was steeped in music. She achieved a great success in that arena. I spoke to her often, but saw her much less than I would have liked to. Uh, at Kalyan and Parvati's not long back, some years back, and then just 2-3 months ago in Calcutta. Didn't realize that it would be the last time that I'd see her. I reminded her of a ghazal that we had sung together in the first year. And sure enough, she remembered the words. And the ghazal was, if you don't mind, I'll sing the first, second line. It goes like, किसी की याद में दुनिया को है भुलाए हुए. I'm thankful that we had the moment together, and I was able to sing with the superstar, always gracious, always kind, very charismatic, thoughtful, and of course, still spunky. We'll miss you, Ratula. We'll miss you. Be well wherever you are. We'll miss you. Thank you, Shanta.
Thank you very much, Ravi. Thank you for your words. Next, young man with the horn, Jayant Bordaloy.
Wow. I'm not finding him, Paplu.
Body, are you on?
Yeah, I found him.
Okay.
No, Body. Hold on. Your voice. You are unmuted, but I can't hear you. Check your mic at your end. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
He's got his mic off. Paplu, I'm going to ask you to say something. Paplu, just tell him, see if he
Yes. Body, we can't hear you. Turn your mic on. We can't hear you at all. Something came in. You have your mic on your computer on? But you don't hear anything, Body. Nothing. Unfortunately, nothing.
Okay, why don't we ask, is it Ron that's speaking next?
Yeah, that's right. It's Ron Gupta's on next.
Okay, we'll put...
yeah, body, get your sound back on. Ron
Yes.
Gupta.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Bodhi wrote a small eulogy about Tulu, and he sent it to me. So I'll read it for him. So that'll serve two purposes. So Bodhi writes that he was practicing for Spring Festival. His band was practicing for Spring Festival, and Robert Roy was one of the leaders of the band. And Ratula wanted to sing in that band, and she wanted to sing a number called Satin Doll. Satin Doll. Then Robert got on the guitar, Robert Roy, and Abhijit Banerjee got on the drums. Jacob Chaco got on the clarinet, and Ranen Datta got on the piano, and Bodhi played, what did you play? Trumps. Bodhi played trumps, and Ratula sang. And she got so popular, they started calling her Satin Doll. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Do you want to add something of your own, Ron?
Well, yes, Pablo. Had the great pleasure of seeing her just a couple of months ago on January 26th at our 50th anniversary, and she and Gauri, they both came to our farewell, and so enjoyed seeing her. And there were about 200 or so people at that time. Bodhi was there too, but I think Bodhi left before she came, but enjoyed her. And she was very popular all around the campus as a singer. I never got a chance to talk to her. I was too junior to her, but to hear great things from Ravi, and Bodhi and others. So rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. And do we have that Bodhi? Your speaker back on? Did Ron say everything that you wanted to say?
Okay.
I chased him away. I'm sorry.
Okay, Paplu, I'm putting you back on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So next we didn't have any other videos to play, right, Parvati?
No, next one is sing along.
Okay, okay. All right. So this was a great idea from Geeta that Obhi thoroughly endorsed. But before we get into this, it's going to be a group sing-along. Very used to it from Kharagpur days. And those who have not been at Kharagpur, I'm sure they can sing along. But before that, I want to make one announcement. This, we are going to finish today with Tulu's and Abhi's favorite song that she sang and was recorded live at a program. And there'll be nothing after that. But 2 weeks from today, same time, Parvati will send out the notification on Zoom with live streaming on YouTube. There'll be a get together just for an unstructured, chaotic chat. Come if you would like to, and be prepared for a little bit of chaos because it'll be totally unstructured. But several people thought, including Abhi, that people might just want to have a chat session. Maybe you put up your hand and then speak, but that's going to be 2 weeks from today. That's the 9th of May, Saturday, same times, 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time in the US, 9:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time, and in between in the Netherlands, of course, it would be 9, 12, 6 p.m. in the Netherlands and other parts of Europe. So that's the announcement. So now we'll have a sing-along. A video will play and we can all read the words and sing along.
Hava Nagila. Let's celebrate. Hava
Nagila. Hava
Nagila.
Nagila.
Everyone sing.
Yeah, everyone sing. Read the words and follow the tune. Hava Nagila. Havana Ranana Havana
Mute everybody.
Well, that was a great effort, but we'll finish with the real stuff, real music. Seriously speaking, Obhi wanted this to be the end. Whoops.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Obhi wanted this to be the closing of today's wonderful celebration of that inimitable character we all loved and knew as Tulu.
Personality.
Tulu's ghazal.
This is Tulu's and Obhi's favorite ghazal, favorite song.
That's not her voice.
That's not her voice.
But it's her favorite gagan. It's a very much.
सच तो ये है कि जिंदगी सच तो ये है कि जिंदगी मुझको हरा गई जब से निगाह आपकी आन हो गई जब से किए निगाहें खास आपकी आन हो गई सच तो ये है कि जिंदगी मुझको हैरान हो गई समझे थे हम वो बेवफा समझे थे हम बेवफा होगा कभी तो बावफा समझे थे हम बेवफा होगा कभी तो बावफा और हाय इसी ख्याल में हाय इसी ख्याल में उम्र तमाम हो गई जब से निगाहें आपकी आन हो गई सच तो ये है जीना उम्मीद वास्ल पर जीना उम्मीद वास्ल पर मरना तेरी फिराक में जीना उम्मीद वास्ल पर मरना तेरे फिराक में और मेरी हयात तो मौत भी मेरी हयात तो मौत भी तेरे ही नाम हो गई जब से किए निगाहें खास आपकी आन हो गई सच तो ये है कि जिंदगी मुझको हैरान हो गई जब पहले ही शाम हो गई निगाहें खास आँखियाँ हो गई के जिंदगी मुझको हराम हो गई जब देखिए निगाहें खास
Kari तो अभी तक उसको बता दिया जो MC है इसने
Yeah, that. I mean, there's nothing to say after that except to say thanks again to everyone who joined, show their love for Tulu, and also for Obhi. I really, as you've heard, those of you who want to get together for a chat 2 weeks from today, same time, there'll be a Zoom conference, so just for an unstructured chat. And with that, Obhi, if you would you like to say anything?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I want to thank all of you who are here, and especially Paplu, Paru, Geeta, and everybody else who made this possible. I don't know. I don't have the language to say thank you. I miss her so much. I'm going to miss her so much, but she's going to be here.
Yeah.
Right here. No matter where I am, she'll be with me. And that's my biggest consolation. Thank you again.
कुत्ते भी दिखाए बेचारों को दोनों ऐसे घूम रहे हैं इधर उधर
Thank you all. We will close here.